So hey anime fans, the series name is What If Naruto Got Harem with Winx Club. So let's start the series. Foreboding shadows extended over the land for a significant distance, lightning striking down the ground and thunder applauding. On the ground, there were different holes, as though there was a serious fight that would determine the destiny of the world, and there was evidence of that. Two figures somewhere far off. One was standing 6 yards from the other, who was laying dead on the ground. The figures were two young men around similar age of 16 years of age. The kid who was standing had light hair that matched the sun, had 6 bristle-like pigmentations, 3 on each cheek, and he donned an orange jumpsuit, dark shoes, a long dark headband with a metal plate on it that had a leaf-like image on it. His clothing was worn out and destroyed from his past fights. "The conflict is at long last finished," said the blonde to his fallen foe. Sasuke was wearing dark Uchiha robes with a belt scarf around his midriff, which was worn out and destroyed too, however the distinction being that he was draining from his chest and stomach from the 2 goes after that his previous confidant had shocked him with. Naruto viewed his previous companion as he reviewed the extraordinary fight before. "At last there will be harmony in this world. The harmony that my dad, teacher and kin pupil had talked about," said Naruto, gasping vigorously. The fight had truly depleted his chakra levels to the mark of fatigue. Naruto tumbled to his knees, utilizing his arms to help himself from failing on the ground too, however he realized that he has brief period left. "Naruto," said a voice. "Kurama," expressed Naruto as he kept on gasping intensely. Naruto advanced as of late about the 9 followed Fox accepted his actual name from the sage of the 6 ways himself, as well as his followed monster brethren. "Naruto, I have no more chakra left. You've utilized every last bit of it since your fight with Obito and Madara. Stand by. I see your companions are coming. Perhaps your companion Sakura can recuperate you," said Kurama, making sense of that he will not ready to mend him, and bringing up the Konoha 12 was coming. "It's alright, Kurama, I'm prepared to kick the bucket," thought Naruto, stunning his new companion. "Naruto, what might be said about your fantasy about becoming Hokage," said the followed monster. "I couldn't care less about that any longer. All I care about is harmony in our reality, and that incorporates the followed monsters," said the blondie, confounding his occupant. "What do you mean by that, Naruto?" asked Kurama. He sees his Jinchuriki draw his kunai, composing something on the ground, and afterward grinned as what it said. "Kurama, I realize that my companions and the Kages will regard this wish, and you and the others will be equivalent and free," thought Naruto, moaned as he fell on the ground, presently not ready to help himself in the air. "Kid, I will pass on close by you," said the fox. "Kurama, you and I both realize that you will recover after I pass on," thought Naruto. "I know, yet you turned into my most memorable genuine companion, and I will kick the bucket close by with you," said Kurama. Naruto grinned at this, and turned his face to his left side, seeing his companions drawing nearer to him, and afterward his eyes were shutting, and breathed out one final breath. Naruto's mindscape. The followed monster saw his environmental elements getting dim and realized his most memorable companion had passed and prepared for his end. "Farewell, Naruto," expressed Kurama as he shut his eyes and the obscurity consumed him. Back to the no man's land. Sakura and the Konoha 11 was 15 yards away until they saw a beam of brilliant light got through the foreboding shadows and radiated on one of the bodies, then pulled the body upwards to the sky, and the light was gone. When they at long last shone up where the light was, they just saw the cadaver of the trickster Sasuke, not their hyperactive blockhead companion. "Where's Naruto? Where is he?" asked Hinata quickly. Everybody wherever searched in their environmental factors, however there was no indication of his body, and Sakura acknowledged what the light did. "Everybody, Naruto's gone. He hasn't arrived," said Sakura tragically. Everybody's eyes augment, however Hinata would not completely accept that. He can't be, he must be here someplace. "Hinata, that brilliant light we saw, it pulled something towards to the mists and vanished. I think it was Naruto, said Sakura. She saw the looks on her companions' countenances. They can hardly imagine how the unified shinobi powers contended energetically to safeguard, and the flash of trust is no more. You think it was paradise itself that took Naruto? Asked Kiba. Sakura just shrugged at this. I don't have the foggiest idea. Perhaps, the one individual that I realize who has the right to go to paradise is Naruto. He's accomplished such a great deal for our reality, said Sakura. Everybody stayed dumbfounded after everything Sakura had said to them. They thoroughly considered it and understood that she was correct. Then, something grabbed Lee's eye. Folks, look on the ground, said Lee. Everybody took a gander at the composition and was shocked at the solicitation. That Naruto, he'd generally done inconceivable things, yet in no way like this, said Kiba, getting gestures from everybody. We ought to get the Kages to investigate this. I'm certain that they won't decline this solicitation, said Sakura, after 10 minutes. The leftovers of the partnered shinobi powers and the 5 Kages whom endure their fight from Madara, showed up at the Konoha 11's area. Sakura enlightened them concerning the light and Naruto's vanishing, as well as the hypothesis of paradise carrying Naruto to its doors itself. Ruler Kages, there is something that you ought to see, said Sakura. She drove the Kages to the composition and it said, hello, everybody, I presumably have relatively little time left, taking into account that I've depleted my chakra and pushed my body a long ways past its cutoff points, so I'll go focused. Don't deal with the Jinchuriki like untouchables any longer. The absence of regard and refusal to regard them as a human, rather as a weapon, is the justification for why the Akatsuki figured out how to got together the followed monsters, save the 8 and 9 tails, something else. The time has come to quit treating and seeing the followed monsters as weapons for the towns. They are living creatures, made from the sage of the 6 ways himself, and they have names. The 1 tails is Shikaku, 2 tails is Matatabi, 3 tails is Isabu, 4 tails is Child Goku, 5 tails is Kokuo, 6 tails is Saiken, 7 tails is Chome, 8 tails is Gyuki, and the 9 tails, Old Buddy, is Kurama. When you discharge them from the jail that they're in, they will be liberated from bondage and carry on with their lives. It is their decision if they need to be related with a ninja town or fixed in a Jinchuriki. Kindly, don't allow this to repeat. Don't make one more pattern of disdain. Farewell, everybody. Naruto Uzumaki is out. The 5 Kages were contacted, save the Reikage and Tsukage who had a dislike their countenances. However, Tsunade and Gaara were crying, the previous losing her far-off family member and the last option losing his closest companion who knew the specific sort of aggravation that Jinchuriki generally experience. At last, Tsunade quit crying and said, "We will respect his solicitation. It is time we obliterate the pattern of scorn and at no point ever allowed this to occur in the future." Everybody concurred, and the heads of their separate towns had enlightened the military concerning the solicitations and collectively concurred to learning the genuine names of the followed monsters. A few days, the followed monsters were given their opportunity, yet some chose to remain with the towns. Shikaku remained and became related with stowed away Sand Town. Child Goku remained with the secret Stone Town, and Gyuki stayed fixed in Africanized Honeybee, related with the secret Cloud Town. Konoha. The whole town was in a secret government of grieving subsequent to getting news about their legend of the secret leaf had fallen in fight. The shinobi and residents went to the secret leaf commemoration to respect Naruto for his unmatched devotion, dedication, and solidarity to his town and friends. The partnered shinobi powers troopers showed up at his memorial service too, and proclaiming him as a conflict legend, Ruler Fukasaku, Woman Shima, Gamabunta, Gamakichi, Gamatatsu, the incomparable Frog Savvy, and the remainder of the amphibian populace had likewise joined in. His entombment stone was set alongside the 4th Hokage's stone. which thusly was lined up with the past Hokages. Naruto, we will always remember you, we will get you together there later, expressed Sakura as she put blossoms on top of her companion's stone. The stone was overpowered with gifts and roses from the whole town, connoting that they will always remember the main, hyperactive, knuckled-headed ninja. However, to the remainder of the ninja world, he was known as the rescuer of the world. Another plane. Naruto awakens unexpectedly and winds up in an enormous white spot that appears to be a train station stage. He sees his garments at this point not worn out and destroyed like previously and strolled around to check whether anybody was here. "Where am I?" asked Naruto. "You truly are dull, aren't you?" said a voice. Naruto perceived the voice and turned around to see his followed monster, Kurama, remaining before him. Naruto would never become accustomed to his companion's level and sheer size, yet he was confounded regarding how is Kurama here with him. "Kurama, how are you here? Is this paradise?" asked Naruto. Kurama murmured at this. "You truly ought to have been focused on your classes in the Ninja Foundation. This is Limbo, the plane among life and demise," said the fox, stunning his human companion. "Limbo? How could we be in Limbo?" asked Naruto. "I can respond to that for you, youthful one," said a voice. Naruto pivoted to see a figure shrouded in a light that was so splendid. The blondie needed to protect his eyes while Kurama stayed emotionless, however had a little stunned look all over. "Who are you?" asked the shinobi as yet covering his eyes. The light diminished down a piece to allow Naruto to see that the figure was a lady wearing a white kimono. "I'm Kami," said Kami. Naruto's eyes extend and drop to his knees, bowing to his god. "You brought me here?" asked Naruto. "Indeed, I brought you and Kurama here," answered Kami. "Why?" asked Kurama. "Since you two are not finished at this point," addressed Kami, befuddling the followed monster and his human companion. "What do you intend to say, we're not finished at this point?" asked Naruto respectfully. "You have carried out fantastic things for your reality, particularly how both of you had gotten along in the conflict and fabricated such a lot of confidence in one another in such a short measure of time. Presently there is another aspect whose harmony is in harm's way," answered Kami. "Another aspect? For what reason might individuals around there at any point safeguard the harmony?" asked Naruto. Kami murmured at this and expressed, "On the grounds that there will be hindrances, that they will require help to survive and they have almost no involvement with fight. You have an unprecedented measure of fight insight and your capacities will help them incredibly, alongside your companion here." Naruto had thoroughly considered this over and over, yet Kurama definitely understood what answer his Jinchuriki had chosen. "I'm in," said Naruto. He saw the little look of alleviation on his god's face, however made one final idea. "Kami, is it conceivable that you could send Kurama back home?" asked the blondie, dazzling the couple. "Why?" asked Kami. "Since Kurama would have the opportunity that he's constantly needed," answered Naruto. Then, at that point, he heard laughing from the followed monster. "Naruto, I'm going with you, regardless of whether you like it. You will require my assistance assuming that you go over a strong foe. Furthermore, I for a long time truly needed to go among aspects and I'm not offering this chance up. Along these lines, we get to cooperate more," said Kurama. Naruto was staggered at Kurama's assertion, however grinned that he will leave on another experience with his new dearest companion. "Okay, then, Kami, send us to the aspect and we'll give our all to assist with protecting the harmony," expressed Naruto sincerely in fervor. Kami grinned at this and held out her hand, which befuddled the shinobi clearly. "Come here, Naruto, I have a gift for you," said Kami. Naruto did everything that she said and came close and put his hand with his palm looking up. A light showed up between the hands, and an ice popsicle-like material showed up and arrived on Naruto's hand. Naruto had the "what on God's green earth is this" look all over and inquired, "Kami, what is this, a weapon of some kind?" "Indeed, It can change into whatever weapon that you need, answered Kami. This isn't a weapon, it can't be a weapon, said Naruto. The ice popsicle was harmed and slumped down with a miserable squeak, causing Naruto to feel remorseful and shocked that the weapon has sentiments. Okay, I'll allow you an opportunity, said Naruto, taking his weapon leap all over on his hand, making the blondie laugh too. Something else, said Kami. Naruto saw the divinity loosen up her right hand and emerged a parchment like the look-over that he wore during his fight with Torment. What's in the parchment? Asked Naruto. In this parchment holds an endless number of ninja apparatuses, kunai, unstable labels, wire, smoke bombs, and shurikens, answered Kami, fulfilling Naruto. Much obliged to you, Kami, expressed Naruto as he hauled the look around his back and put his new weapon in his right pocket. Okay, we're prepared, said the shinobi. Pause, 2 additional things and you're coming, said Kami, recollecting the 2 significant things to provide for Naruto. She strolled over to Naruto and put her record and center finger on his brow. Soon a darkened light showed up briefly, then vanished. I had given you information on a few breeze-style ninjutsu that suit you and your battling style. I've likewise given you your mom's tribe mysteries, family ancestry, special fixing methods and your dad's flying thunder god procedure, its recipe and its kunai, said Kami. Naruto was glad to realize more wind-style ninjutsu. His group's set of experiences and the strategy that gave his dad the moniker, the Yellow Blaze. Much thanks, said the blonde ninja, bowing to Kami and stood up later. Might we at some point get rolling currently? Asked Kurama, getting somewhat fretful. Naruto and Kami laughed at this, with the last option gathering a gateway close to him, and the kid drew near to it and saw his accomplice. Prepared for another experience, Kurama? Asked Naruto. The fox gestured and vanished with his body transforming into red chakra and returning inside Naruto and looked Kami one final time. Much thanks to you for everything, Kami, expressed Naruto with getting a grin from her. The pleasure is all mine and best of luck on your experience. The capacity that I gave you might be opened through preparing or when you want it the most, said Kami, confounding the blonde. What capacity? What are you referring to? Asked Naruto. It's a shock, said Kami, prodding the ninja who frowned at this. Okay, man, gracious, well I'll track down sometime, expressed Naruto as he hopped into the gateway that shut after he entered it. The ninja who was given the moniker Deliverer of the World is currently on one more excursion of experience, humor and companions making. Konoha. It's been 4 hours since the memorial service and everybody had gone to their homes. Tsunade, Shizun, Kakashi, Fellow, Fukasaku, Shima, Gamabunta, and the incomparable frog sage were on of the Hokage landmark, taking a gander at the modified town, since it was added up to by the intrusion of torment. Yet they battled through and returned more grounded. Fukasaku had a miserable look all over as he couldn't lost another understudy, however recalled the inheritance that Naruto abandoned, the harmony that the offspring of prescience would bring upon the world. I can't really accept that he's gone, expressed Shima with tears in her eyes, her significant other headed towards solace her. I know, I wish we had conversed with him one final time, said Tsunade, getting everybody's understanding. Then, at that point, unexpectedly the shinobi wind up in a white spot that appeared to extend for a significant distance, staggering them. What the? Where are we? Asked Fellow. I don't have the foggiest idea, answered Kakashi. Their disarray was replied by a brilliant light and out came a figure, uncovering a lady in a white kimono, and the incomparable frog sage extend his eyes. Kami, said the savvy, making everybody's eyes extend, and did homage their divinity. Emerge, shinobi, said Kami, permitting her supporters to stand up. My woman, to what do we owe to your presence? Asked Gamabunta. I'm here to tell you that Naruto isn't dead, answered Kami, stunning everybody. Naruto's alive. How? Asked Shizun, the goddess didn't express anything until Tsunade acknowledged about the light. "You took his body, didn't you?" asked Tsunade, getting Kami's gesture in arrangement. "Indeed, I took his body and carried him to Limbo. I had educated him concerning an approaching abhorrent that compromises harmony in another aspect," said Kami. "You sent him to another aspect?" asked Kakashi amazed. "Indeed, I gave him a decision and he said that he was equipped for the situation, alongside his companion," said the god, mistaking the creatures for the final word. "What do you intend to actually say, his companion?" asked Tsunade. "The Nine Tails, or Kurama, as you currently know," answered Kami, dazzling everybody. "Naruto went to one more aspect with Kurama?" asked Gamabunta. "Naruto will confront strong rivals, so Kurama chose to go with him and there is a motivation behind why I'm letting you know this," said Kami. "For what reason are you telling us?" asked Tsunade. "Since there will be a period that he and Kurama will require your assist in the event that there's a fight that will with overpowering even them," said Kami. "We will be there to take care of them," said Fukasaku, with everybody concurring, and Kami grinned at this, however got a serious look a second after the fact. "Yet, you should not tell any other person, this should remain between every one of you," expressed Kami in a serious tone. "We won't mention it to anyone," said Gamabunta. Kami grinned, then, at that point, vanished, the shinobi wound up back on the Hokage landmark. "Can't completely accept that Naruto is in another aspect and Kurama is with him," said Fellow. "Indeed, Naruto is erratic and when he really wants assistance, we'll be there," said Tusnade, with everybody gesturing. They took a gander at the dusk, and grinned, knowing that their number one imbecile, however strong shinobi is fit as a fiddle. Winx Club Universe. Magix aspect. Mists are preparing at the town close to the three schools of enchantment, Althea for pixies, Red Wellspring for entertainers, and Cloud Pinnacle for witches. In a rear entryway, a red-haired young lady named Blossom is frozen in a jail of ice by the head of the Tricks, Darcy, yet they were interfered with by Sprout's new companions, Verger, Stella, Musa, Tekna. "Leave her be," said Stella. The Tricks and the monster Canute were unfazed by the princess' interest. "Canute, this is your opportunity to make up for yourself, take out these failures," said Cold. The monster charged at the young ladies who leaped far removed without a second to spare and changed into their fundamental pixie structure and cast their spells to immobilize the savage, yet Frigid isn't having it. "That is all there is to it," expressed Cold as she called ice precious stones at the savage, annihilating his limitations. This stunned the pixies clearly. "Canute, obliterate them presently," said Cold. The monster charged at the pixies by and by, however didn't pay heed to the foreboding shadows encompassing the town and the lightning strike the ground among him and the young ladies. "What's this?" asked Frigid. The pixies, Tricks and Canute were dazed to see a gateway and came out a 16-year-old kid with light hair wearing a bizarre clothing and unusual skin pigmentations on his cheeks and a huge look despite his good faith. The entrance shut behind him and the kid looked confounded, until he saw the Tricks with Canute and turned around to see a gathering of young ladies with wings, remaining close to the young lady caught in ice. "Okay, I'm expecting that you young ladies remaining close to the human popsicle that you are engaging with those young ladies and the one I mutt, right?" asked Naruto with his arms crossed and pointing at the two gatherings. The young ladies gestured and Naruto went to confront the savage, saying, "That is all I had to be aware. I will say this once, leave currently," expressed Naruto in firm tone. Canute felt the power radiating from the kid, and realized that he is definitely not a typical human, yet the Tricks felt nothing. "Ha, you don't realize whom you're not kidding," expressed Darcy with a grin all over. "Indeed, I do. I'm managing 3 young ladies who put an excess of eyeliner and don't have the foggiest idea about a thing about makeup," said Naruto. Shivered as he recalled that one of the terrible excursions that Sakura compelled him to accompany at the secret leaf town. This remark caused a furious vein on Frigid's brow. Canute, obliterate him, directed Frigid. The savage delayed the slightest bit, however charged at the kid who just remained there, and this made the pixies anxious. Move, move, yelled Stella, attempting to caution the outsider, however without any result. Canute drew nearer to Naruto and was going to raise a ruckus around town, until he dodged and countered with an uppercut to the jawline, sending the savage flying out of the back street, stunning the two gatherings of mysterious figures. Naruto took a gander at the tricks with a serious face and said, "I'll say this one final time, leave now." "How can that be?" He recently dodged and sent Canute flying with a solitary punch. He can't be typical, thought Frosty, however she shook off her shocked state. "Good, kid, you need to meddle with witches." "You got it," said Frigid icily. Naruto was a piece confounded as he never knew about witches. On the other hand, he is in another aspect, so the situation are different here. Frosty sent one more round of ice precious stones at the kid and the pixies. However, Naruto hopped before the pixies and immediately countered the approaching assault. "Wind style, vortex safeguard," expressed Naruto in the wake of completing the last hand sign. A vortex of wind encompassed the pixies and Naruto, shielding them from the ice assault as the gems were chopped down into nothing as they connected with the safeguard. Frigid and her sisters were stunned when they saw the kid calling the breeze to safeguard him, and the pixies too obliterated the ice precious stones. The safeguard vanished and the tricks were unsettled at this, explicitly Frosty and turbulent. "Okay, what about a little lightning?" said Blustery insulting as she brought a purple from the sky and coordinated to the gathering. However, Naruto countered the assault indeed. "Wind style, air slug," expressed Naruto as he breathed out a projectile of wind at the lightning and got through the assault, going directly at the witches. The threesome evaded far removed, and took a gander at the kid in shock. "How is it that his good assaults be better than our own? I've never heard or seen breeze-based assaults being better than ice and lightning-based assaults," thought Frosty. However, she had enough of this and begun to develop wizardry to utilize one of her solid spells, and Pixie of the Sun immediately countered this by removing her ring, hurled it overhead and transformed into a staff. "Hold tight, everybody, we're gone," expressed Stella as she swung her staff around, and the pixies, including Naruto, was gone. "What? No, once more, they've gotten away," said Frosty, stunned by the new development. "Some place around. You unfortunate thing, indeed, you might have endured in that ice for 15 additional minutes, taking into account you're from Earth and all. You've done wonderfully, Blossom," expressed Stella as she was warming Sprout from the briskness, yet she accidentally uncovered Blossom's personality before different pixies. "Stella," said the threesome at the same time, surprising Stella and pivoting anxiously. "Why did you call her Sprout and that she's from Earth?" said Vegetation. "All things considered, it's thoughtful off a boring tale. I'll make sense of everything later," expressed Stella as she pointed her forefingers together anxiously. Blossom chuckled at this, however saw the kid behind them. "Who's that?" asked Sprout, pointing at Naruto. The young ladies took a gander at the kid, which caused him to feel apprehensive. "He saved you in battle off against those witches," made sense of Stella cheerfully. "Goodness, many thanks," said Sprout. "My pleasure, I'm simply happy you're okay," said Naruto laughing, not seeing the little blush of Sprout's face. "We never got your name," said Tekna. "Gracious, indeed, I am Naruto Uzumaki," said the shinobi. "Hello, Naruto, I'm Greenery," said the Pixie of Nature. "I'm Tekna," said the Pixie of Music. "I'm Musa," said the Pixie of Innovation. "I'm Stella," said the cheerful Pixie of the Sun. "Furthermore, I'm Blossom," said the redhead young lady. "All things considered, it was a delight to meet all of you. Presently, it's the ideal opportunity for me to leave," expressed Naruto as he turned and was going to leave until he felt a hand on his shoulder. "Pause, where are you going?" asked Greenery. "Indeed, I haven't exactly contemplated that," said Naruto, laughing timidly and scouring the rear of his head. Indeed, you can come stay with us, said Blossom, astonishing the young ladies and kid. Excuse us briefly, expressed Musa as she pulled Blossom, carrying her to the cluster with the others, away from Naruto. Are you insane? Asked Musa. What? Asked Sprout. What do you really intend? What? You realize Althea is just for pixies, meaning just young ladies, said Musa. In any case, he saved us and it seems as though he has no clue about where to go, expressed Blossom as she and her companions took a gander at Naruto, who didn't understand that he was remaining in the road until a hovermobile sounded at him and he leaped far removed while saying, "Watch where you're not kidding," and glanced back at one another. No doubt, you're all right about that part, however what might be said about and her colleague? Almost certainly, they won't allow him to remain. Above all, might we at any point trust him? Asked Musa. Indeed, we can. I have this feeling that he's different in some way, said Blossom, attempting to conceal her little blush, yet Stella got it and said nothing. Indeed, we can attempt to conceal him, however we want to track down a spot for him, said Tekna. The young ladies concurred and went to see Naruto playing with a kunai readily available. The ninja saw the young ladies approach him and put the kunai away and hung tight for their choice. What's happening? Asked Naruto. Musa murmured and said, You can remain with us in our residence for this evening, yet you need to remain stowed away. Grasp, said the pixie, surprising the blonde. Would you say you are unquestionably certain? That is to say, I would rather not cause you young ladies problems as a result of me, expressed Naruto with concern. It's okay, presently, come on, we got to get moving, said Greenery. The gathering began making a beeline for Althea. The gathering had made back to the grounds, with the young ladies in their ordinary garments. Naruto was making casual conversation with the young ladies, finding out about their home universes, their capacities and their families. I want to come clean, said Blossom. We'll discuss it later. For the present, simply follow me, said Stella, not having any desire to get found out, yet two bright lights cast upon the gathering tragically. Freeze, women, said Mess. Griselda, young ladies, do you know how late is it? Requested the head from discipline. We were stressed over you young ladies. Presently hit the sack immediately and we'll talk in the first part of the day, said MS. Faragonda. Hold there, Princess Victoria, what did you need to tell? Asked the partner. Indeed, I'm not Victoria from Valisto, I go by Blossom and I'm from Earth, said Sprout. Earth as in planet Earth? Asked the partner while cleaning her glasses. Kindly don't send me away, I realize I have a place here. This is the most astonishing spot with the most astounding individuals ever, said Blossom, practically destroying and making her companions grin. Indeed, I say you get rebuffed, you disrupted 2 norms in a single day and I figure you ought to be transformed into ooze, said the right hand. Presently it took a ton of boldness to come clean and she can assume Miss Victoria's position, said MS. Faragonda. Wahoo, okay, said the young ladies. They were going to leave until Blossom recollected about Naruto. Young ladies, where's Naruto? Asked Blossom. The young lady's eyes broadened and checked out the kid, yet he was no place in sight. Tragically, the 2 old pixies had heard Sprout's inquiry. Who is this Naruto? Asked the dean, and the young ladies took a gander at one another until Sprout and Stella let them know occurred around. Wrapping up with their counter with the tricks, Naruto was at the edge of the boundary that safeguards Althea, and was going through a manner of thinking about where he is going to reside until a voice halted him in his place. Hold it in that general area, young fellow, said MS. Faragonda. Naruto pivoted to see the dean, her associate and the young ladies remaining behind them. Where are you going? Asked MS. Faragonda. Well, I would have rather not caused the young ladies problems and I figured I could rest in the woodland this evening, said Naruto timidly. Goodness, no, you led to no issues for the young ladies and they let me know what occurred around. other than there are perilous animals that chase during the evening, said Ms. Farragonda, making the ninja sweat drop at that last remark. It's no issue, I'm only eager to assist them out, that is all, said the shinobi. The superintendent can see that the kid is night and day different from the others, so enthusiastic, hyper and cheerful going. You can remain with us for some time, we have additional room, some place, said, uncertain where the additional room is found and stunning her partner too. The additional room is in our residence, said Stella cheerfully. Are you certain about this? Asked her partner. Indeed, I'm certain, and he doesn't seem to be the sort of kid that will exploit the young ladies. Additionally, I'm intrigued to get more familiar with his breeze-based capacities that the young ladies had referenced, said Ms. Farragonda. You can trust me, ma'am, and for my capacities, I'll make sense of later, expressed Naruto as he covered his mouth while yawning. Obviously, all things considered, go on, you're clearly worn out from your movements, said with blonde gesturing in understanding. Better believe it. Well, thank you, Ms., said Naruto, said the dean, completing his sentence. Indeed, thank you kindly, said the ninja, bowing in regard, and was strolling towards the young ladies. Hang on briefly there, said the associate, halting Naruto in his place. Indeed? What planet would you say you are from? I'm from Earth, expressed Naruto as he realized that his reality is the planet Earth in his aspect. You're from Earth too? Asked the associate and blossomed simultaneously. Definitely. Well, in another aspect? Asked Naruto, confounded by their answer. From another aspect? So are you an otherworldly animal? Asked Ms. Farragonda, confounding Naruto. No, I'm 100% human, not this enchanted animal, answered Naruto nonchalantly, stunning everybody. What? Asked Naruto. It's only that there is an obstruction around Magix that permits just supernatural animals go through, no people, said the partner, dazzling Naruto. Perhaps this is a result of karma fixed inside me, thought the ninja as he was considering the way this functions. Indeed, we'll discuss this later. At the present time, all of you really want to rest, said the dean. Naruto and the young ladies gestured and went en route to the residence while Ms. Farragonda and her right hand remained behind. I thought all pixies on Earth were wiped out hundreds of years prior, said the right hand. Indeed, so who is Blossom? Asked the dean. All the more significantly, who is Naruto? The last human who visited in Magix was the point at which the three champion rulers was causing destruction on Magix with the genealogical witches, and he halted them with unbelievable capacities, said the associate. Indeed, that is valid. We'll get more familiar with Sprouts and Naruto's starting points tomorrow, particularly the kids, said Ms. Farragonda. Storm clouds encompassed over the land, trees are shadows of their previous selves. All in all, nothing remains to be seen for a significant distance with the exception of a gigantic mountain whose highest point arrives at the mists. In the mountain, there is a palace, and within the royal chamber are three solidified caskets standing upwards with a composition and images in each final resting place of some kind, and with three creatures in every one too. Thunder shook the palace, and red eyes unexpectedly opened in one of the caskets, attempting to break liberated from its jail, yet without any result. The being shut his eyes as though it was zeroing in on something. Minutes after the fact, an ordinary final resting place showed up out of the stone ground. Stir, my worker, said the being in a virus tone. The final resting place opened, uncovering a solid man in dark dress with a hood on the rear of his shirt, a dark veil covering his head, however his eyes, and two blades on his belt. Likewise the man had an image on his chest, looking like a hand holding the handle of a sword, and that equivalent image was available at the foundation of his sword's grips. The man then bowed to the casket that contained his lord detainee. You've gathered me, Ace, said the champion. Indeed, I felt a presence in Magix. The presence is basically the same as the person who had detained myself and my siblings in these puzzle jails. carry him to me, so we might be liberated. It will be finished, Ace, said the champion as he vanished in dark smoke. The fighter returned external the palace and made a gateway, entering Magix. I will track down you, said the fighter as he proceeds to find the one that his lord had sent him to catch. In Althea with Sprout and the young ladies. Hi, everybody, I go by Teacher Whizkes and I'll show you young ladies' metamorphosis, said the mythical person. The young ladies were perched on the left half of the room, close to the windows with Blossom and Stella sitting toward the front. Presently, what is transformation? Asked the teacher, and nobody lifted their hands, nobody. Indeed, transformation is the specialty of changing your body, said the mythical person, pulled his cheek wide and transformed into a grinning Griselda and making the teenagers chuckle. The mythical person changed once again into his unique structure and jumped several tables. The little enchanted animal made sense of how transformative sorcery is helpful for attentiveness and you can change your body whenever. Presently, since this is the top notch of the year, we'll begin something little and basic, expressed Whizkes as he utilized wizardry to bring out mirrors happen to the tables from the openings and every young lady got them, with the exception of Naruto. Clearly, changing your hair tone, it ought to be a snap for you women. A large portion of the young ladies were effective in the difference in their hair tone, with the exception of Blossom bombed in the wake of trying and put her mirror down before her on her table, feeling crushed. Blossom, it's too soon to begin falling behind, you have a ton of schoolwork to do, expressed Whizkes subsequent to seeing the young lady surrendering excessively simple office. Naruto was remaining in the focal point of the dean's office, sitting tight for the older pixie. He was called promptly in the first part of the day and Naruto expected that she needs to be familiar with his capacity to go through the hindrance that encompasses Magix, also about his breeze-based assault. The kid's line of reasoning was interfered with when the entryway opened and the ninja pivoted, seeing Ms. Faragonda and Ms. Griselda. Hello, Naruto, said Faragonda. Good day, Ms. Faragonda, Ms. Griselda, expressed Naruto as he welcomed the two older women. The two pixies strolled over to the work area, with Faragonda sitting down and Griselda remaining close to her. Along these lines, what am I doing here? Asked Naruto. We might want to be aware of your starting point. How could it be that you're ready to go through the boundary? What's more, how could you make the breeze-based assault of yours more grounded than a lightning assault? Answered the dean with her inquiry. Naruto delayed as he contemplated the outcomes and in the event that he can trust the couple. Naruto, you can believe them about our past, other than you have my novel capacity to distinguish malignance and pessimistic feelings, and they don't have any of the above mentioned, said Kurama. Yet, shouldn't something be said about you? I can't make sense of for them about you and I don't have any idea how I went through the hindrance. Stand by, it is a result of you, right? Asked Naruto. You can inform them regarding me, and concerning your inquiry, it most likely has to do with your chakra as well as me being fixed inside, since you don't have wizardry, answered the fox. He, says thanks to Kurama, said the ninja discreetly laughing as he was gazing at the old pixies. All things considered, let it out, young fellow, said a restless Griselda. Okay, indeed, where I come from, we have an exceptional energy called chakra. It is the mix of physical and otherworldly energy of the body and is likewise our life compel. It's presumably the motivation behind why I had the option to pass the boundary, made sense of Naruto, shocking the pixie pair. Chakra, presently where did I hear that term previously? Asked Griselda. If it's not too much trouble, proceed, Naruto, said Faragonda, getting a gesture from the shinobi. We can control our chakra to do extraordinary accomplishments and fight each other, also control the components around us to acquire a benefit, made sense of the kid, staggering Faragonda and Griselda. Control your life power to fight one another. Isn't so risky? Asked Faragonda. All things considered, when you utilized practically every last bit of it during fight, no doubt, yet we train to expand how much chakra that we use and get more grounded simultaneously, answered the blonde. You actually haven't make sense of your place of beginning, said Griselda, not thinking twice. In my aspect, I come from the secret leaf town, one of the 5 fundamental ninja towns, said Naruto. You're a ninja, meaning a professional killer, asked Griselda. In fact, no, the ninja in my reality are not quite the same as you probably are aware, and we do missions for benefits from clients. The missions range from straightforward tasks to accompanying a powerful individual, answered the ninja. The kid kept on making sense of about his youth, ninja graduation, the missions he did with his previous group, and the Akatsuki. He left the 4th Shinobi Universal Conflict in his divinity, sending him to their reality out, since he realizes that the data that he just gave is somewhat overpowering to the pixies. I had no clue about that a town would whip a kid early on for not a great explanation, said Faragonda. It's okay, I found out about various aspects and needed to investigate after I got done with my last mission, so I'm right here, said Naruto. Much thanks to you for being straightforward with us. It must have been difficult to tell us, said Faragonda. No, it wasn't. Presently, I have something different as a main priority. I will leave this evening, said the blondie, astonishing the couple. For what reason would you say you are leaving? You can remain here for some time, and there is our yearly ball continuing this evening, said the superintendent, attempting to prevent Naruto into leaving. I thank you for your neighborliness the previous evening, yet I should get rolling. Thanks at any rate for the welcome, expressed Naruto as he pivoted and left the room. Is he leaving in light of us doubting him? Asked Griselda. No, it's likely something different, Faragonda answered as she put her finger and thumb on her jawline, contemplating something. Vegetation's room. I was the one in particular who couldn't make it happen, said Sprout, actually annoyed about not changing her hair tone. Vegetation was going to her blossoms, while Sprout and Stella were on the bed, with the previous conveying a mirror before her. Indeed, you understand what they say, careful discipline brings about promising results, said a bright Stella. Better believe it, you're correct, I can do this, expressed Blossom with her certainty re-established. Stella then, at that point, had her spot close to her as she helps the red-haired human. Presently, ponder the best hair day you got, said Stella. Blossom zeroed in on the best hair day, yet accordingly, the front of her hair shot up, all things being equal. This is the very thing I get, asked Sprout, disappointed. Quiet down, geez, this will be a drawn-out year, answered Stella. In the woods, right external Althea. Naruto was strolling around the timberland while taking a gander at the trees, the creatures, and the reasonable sky. Being an expert of senjutsu, he can feel the nature's all's energy, and grinned, knowing that this world is extremely defensive of their environment. Naruto, what are we doing over here? Asked Kurama. We're searching for a decent spot to work around, answered Naruto, rather utilizing the brain interface since nobody was around to hear him converse with Kurama, or they would see him like he was insane. Kurama needed to inquire, fabricate what? Our home, answered the blondie, shocking his followed monster. How are you going to do that? You don't understand anything about building a house, said the fox, causing his Jinchuriki to jerk his eye a bit. That is your thought process. Recollect Kami giving me my mom's group's privileged insights. She really gave me the plans to fabricate the house that my people resided in, said Naruto. So what amount of time do you figure it will require for you to construct the house? A little while with clones? Asked the fox. No, perhaps 5 days or 14 days, and I'll simply make a tent and chase while the house is fabricated. Ah, I tracked down the ideal spot, answered the shinobi as he quit strolling. He saw countless trees, a cascade associated with a waterway heading downstream, and the view helped him to remember the secret leaf town. You picked an incredible spot, kid. Much obliged, Kurama. Presently I got to return. Going around can be debilitating, expressed Naruto as he hopped up to the trees, making a beeline for Althea. Cafeteria, Althea. Sit back and relax, Sprout, you'll have the option to utilize enchantment sometime, said Verger. I trust so, answered Blossom, feeling minimal down. Please, may I ask you consideration everybody, asked Faragonda. The young ladies went to see their director behind a table, remaining close to Griselda. As all of you know, this evening is our Althea customary dance to get going the new school year. Tomorrow evening, our visitors will be the young men from Red Wellspring School of Heroics and Courage, and they will bring in gifts for you women, said Faragonda. However, not excessively well disposed, love elixirs and pound mixtures are taboo, and there will be managers, said the head of detainment. However, moving is empowered. I recollect when I initially met my significant other at my most memorable Althea dance. Quit worrying about that, so the whole day's classes will be dropped so you women can prepare, said the head administrator, getting cheers and commendation. Cloud Pinnacle Foundation. The understudies were collected for a gathering with Superintendent Griffin, including 3 natural faces, the tricks. They were in their relaxed garments, sitting tight for the head administrator, and she showed up. The director moved forward on the platform to report her news. She's frightening, expressed one of the understudies. I have assembled this conference to share some sad news. By and by, Althea School is having their yearly dance and we're not welcomed also, so we will get payback by giving this test. Propose a plan to make those pixie rascals weeping hysterically. For the people who need to partake will present their proposition to the workforce for audit. Presently you are excused, shouted Griffin. We ought to make a move to take the Ring of Solaria, said Frosty. Concurred, said her sisters at the same time. However, Darcy remembered some other person or thing. Stand by, what might be said about that blonde kid we experienced? Cole jeered, that kid had a fortunate chance on us. The oldest sister then, at that point, lifted her hand, framing a little ice gem in her palm. Assuming he shows his face once more, we'll show him what we're truly made of. She got underhanded sneers from her sisters before the triplet left the room. Stella's room. You generally got to put your best self forward, said Stella, exhibiting an orange dress to greenery. Tekna, Musa and Blossom with the previous 2 sitting on the bed, Musa remaining against a wall and Sprout sitting on the floor. The previous 3 were wearing their dresses for the dance, aside from the red hair. I utilized my MasterCard that my daddy gave me, however it's absolutely worth the effort. It was calling to me, saying, get me. Better believe it, it positively is you, said Musa laughing as she found it interesting that Stella would purchase the dress since she is a shopping diva. I want to utilize wizardry to make our outfits, expressed Greenery with Musa concurring her. I know, it consumed me a huge chunk of time to view this as dress, answered Tekna, concurring with the nature pixie too. Definitely, where did you find that dress at any rate? Asked Stella, making a decision about the innovation pixie. I'll have you realize that this is the top dress in style, Tekna said as she guarded her decision of attire. The pixies heard thumping on the entryway. Stella then, at that point, expressed, come in. The entryway opened to uncover their blonde companion they made the prior night. Hi, women, goodness, you young ladies look pleasant, said Naruto strolling in the room. He didn't see the sulk all over since she was wearing a dress. Gracious, thank you, Naruto, where have you been? Asked Stella. Simply strolling around the Timberland, it's truly great. Naruto caused a commotion from the pixies throughout the morning. At any rate, are you going to the dance? Asked Blossom. Dance? What dance? Blossom made sense of about the Althea customary hit the dance floor with the male legend foundation to the young blonde ninja. Well about that, I'm leaving this evening, answered Naruto, shocking the young ladies. What? Asked the young ladies. Yet, why? Asked Blossom. I valued that you young ladies let me stay the previous evening. yet I really want to find my very own position, and this is a school for young ladies. I don't think I'll very fit in," said the blonde. "Where are you going to reside?" asked Tekna. "In the woods. You can definitely relax. I can deal with myself, and I'll come visit you women regular." He then, at that point, saw the miserable look all over Sprout. "What's going on?" asked the shinobi. "It's simply that we just met you and you're now leaving. Could you at any point stay for another evening, basically for the dance?" asked Blossom. Naruto was mulling over everything for a couple of moments, then, at that point, saw Sprout's face. "Alright, I'll go to the dance," said Naruto, seeing the grin all over, which some way or another made him grin. "Indeed, that is settled. Presently we can prepare for the dance." "Naruto, what are you going to wear?" asked Stella. This," answered the kid, highlighting his ninja clothing. "That? Why? Since it's the main garments I have," said Naruto deadpanned. Blossom chuckled a little before she remembered something significant. Folks, I don't have a dress and the dance is a couple of hours away." The human pixie got up from the floor. "Indeed, this is the ideal chance to go out to shop. No companions of mine are going to the dance without looking their absolute best," said Stella, taking out another visa. Are you certain about this, Stella?" asked an apprehensive Naruto. "Without a doubt. Consider this giving back in kind for you saving us from those witches," answered Stella. "Okay, we should go," said Naruto. "I trust this isn't like Sakura's shopping." Dots of sweat showed up around the kid's face as he left the room with the young ladies. Town, a few hours after the fact. The pixies and ninja were strolling for a really long time, no doubt stirring up a lot of loathsomeness for the last option since he was helped to remember Sakura's shopping repulsiveness binge. The gathering was strolling store to track down outfits for Sprout and Naruto, each store, when Blossom views as a dress. Nearly everybody differ with the exception of the kid who thought she pretty searched in every one. Concerning the ninja, they tracked down a counterpart for him, a dim blue dress jeans, a white button shirt, a light blue tie and a dim blue coat. "Time's slipping away, we actually haven't tracked down a dress for you, Blossom," said Stella. "You all ought to proceed to prepare. I'll remain and keep on looking," said Blossom. Naruto then, at that point, strolled and remained adjacent to her. "I'll remain with you and help out." "Okay, do nothing else, both of you," said Musa, leaving with the others snickering and prodding Naruto and Sprout with the last option having a little blush. "Come on, we should go," said Naruto, unmindful of Sprout's blush with the last option shaking her blush off. "Right, come on," answered Sprout. The couple was hurrying to numerous stores, attempting to track down the ideal dress for Blossom while making a wreck on their hunt. In the meantime in Althea, the young ladies were in their particular rooms, looking at themselves in their dresses. Back with Naruto and Sprout. Naruto and Sprout at long last found a store having a deal on the entirety of their garments and found the dress that the red-haired young lady preferred. "And Bear, we ought to get rolling. It's a couple of moments until the dance begins," said Naruto, pointing at the clock behind him. "Goodness, we will be so late. I don't think we'll make it in time," said Blossom, giving a sprinkle of overreacting. The kid quieted the redhead down. "You can definitely relax. We'll make it. Bounce onto my back," said Naruto, shocking the red hair. "What?" asked Sprout. "Get on my back. We'll be there like a flash," answered Naruto. Blossom faltered from the get-go, consented, and bounced on Naruto's back. The pixie was becoming flushed as he felt her companion's hard chest. "Alright, prepared?" "You could take a full breath," cautioned the blonde to his traveler, who consented. Naruto shut his eyes as he zeroed in on his objective and the pair vanished in a yellow glimmer. A couple of moments later, the fighter from the other world was on top of a structure that was close to the clock and concentrated on the area. He was simply here, and the path finished here. However, the beginning leads back to Althea. "I'll track down you and carry you to my lord," said the champion as he vanished in a dark smoke and going to his objective. Naruto's room in Althea. Naruto and Blossom showed up in a yellow glimmer with the previous stunning his feet and the last option taking a deep breath and relax, faltering as well as falling on her behind. "Hold up, how could we get back in your room?" asked Sprout. "I utilized one of my capacities, which was really my most memorable time. It permits me to venture out at fast to any place in a moment and it needed to have this to work," answered Naruto as he assisted Sprout with standing up and highlighted the recipe that was close to his feet. "Goodness, that is astonishing. When did you put it?" "Simply the previous evening." "What number of capacities do you have?" "Apologies, it's confidential, you'll find out soon," answered Naruto, making Sprout frown. "You ought to get to your room and change, you would rather not keep everyone pausing," expressed Naruto as his companion was strolling towards the entryway, opened it, however halted and went to confront Naruto. "Much thanks to you for aiding me, it implied a ton," expressed Sprout cheerfully. "My pleasure, what are companions for?" answered Naruto with his own grin before the red hair pivoted and shut the entryway. The ninja was going to put on something else until he detected something outside because of his gloomy feelings detecting capacity and opened the window, just to not see anything. "I have an inclination that something will happen this evening." Naruto remained in the window before he returned inside the room. Blossom's room. "Hello, Kiko, I figured out how to get something. It's excessively lengthy, yet in the event that I had some scissors, I can make it work," expressed Sprout as she was searching for scissors, yet without much of any result and chosen to cut it with her sorcery. She then, at that point, heard something outside, glanced through her window to see the young men from Red Wellspring showing up. Blossom smelled something consuming and went to see her dress ablaze. A couple of seconds after the fact she figured out how to put it out. "Dang it, whenever that you really want something, you can't track down it," said a baffled Sprout as she passed on her room and Kiko to search for some scissors. "In the passages beneath. I didn't realize that we'd walk, these impact points are squeezing my feet," expressed Darcy as she was holding a guide. Frigid was before her with an electric lamp and Turbulent was behind Darcy with another spotlight. "When we have the ring and rule Magix, you can have chariots to take you anyplace," answered Cold. "If it's not too much trouble, let that we're no there yet," mumbled Darcy. "You're the person who has the guide," pointed Turbulent. "Goodness, right, well we're nearly there," answered Darcy. "Althea's foyers. A school of sorcery and I can't find some scissors, this is totally ludicrous," said Sprout actually baffled. Then, at that point, she heard something coming through from one of the ways aside. What was that? Blossom began strolling down the steps until she heard voices. "I believe we're extremely close, the entryway is only up ahead," expressed Darcy as she and her sisters came to and tracked down the steps. "Gracious, no, it's those witches," mumbled Sprout. Right now she remembered them and ran up the steps. Not long before they saw her, Blossom hurried to the opposite side of the lobby, and the witches advanced down the foyer, utilizing Darcy's enchanted sense to the young men's gifts with Sprout following them inconspicuous. "Down the lobby and make a right," said Darcy. The sisters, and their excluded supporter tracked down the young men's gifts and chosen to revile it with snake rodents, then, at that point, left when the spell was finished. "Those princesses won't understand which bit them," expressed Frigid as she made an ice entrance on the wall and the tricks exit through it. "I must caution the others," expressed Sprout as she discreetly left to the assembly hall to caution her new companions. "With the tricks, beyond assembly hall. I can hardly stand by to see the snake rodents." The triplet was taking cover behind 2 or 3 bamboo trees with Cold hunkering before her sisters. Cold then glanced back at Darcy. How might it take for the pixies to begin vomiting? "One nibble and it may involve seconds." Within assembly hall, Sprout came to the assembly hall that was loaded with understudies from the 2 schools. She was searching for her companions. "Gracious, where are they?" Blossom then tippy-toed across the dance floor as she attempts to keep away from any undesirable consideration from anyone. However, that didn't occur when she hit somebody in the back with her head, particularly that somebody ended up being Brandon. "Hello," Sprout shared with the taller kid. "I was searching for you," said Brandon. "You were?" Brandon then anxiously put his abandoned hand his head. "Hello, might you want to move?" asked the apprehensive legend in preparing. "Definitely, without a doubt," Sprout said as she ran past the kid while befuddling the last option and making him re-evaluate something. She in the end found her companions and called out, "Hello, young ladies." She paused and gasped in short breaths while she grabbed her companion's eye. Tekna was the first to inquire, "What took you such a long time?" "What's wrong?" asked Vegetation with her eyes shut and a grin. The young ladies then, at that point, created some distance from prying ears to the passages and trusted that Sprout will give her clarification of the Trix's arrangement of the snake rodents. Snake rodents? The tech pixie scoured her jawline. "Let me counsel my data set," Tekna said as she put her left hand up. Her palm was unguarded with a green light discharging a picture of a little dark rodent-like animal. Snake rodents, venomous marsh animals which cause shot regurgitating from one nibble. Gross. "Ew," shouted Stella, "I realize the reason why they're doing this. Those witches are envious of us. They wish they got an opportunity with the Wellspring young men." "Indeed, really they're not after the young men by any means, they're after your ring, Stella," Blossom amending her dearest companion of the witch's expectations. "We need to follow through with something." Musa put a reasoning posture before she brought forth a thought. It's cool, we can deal with this, we'll simply return to the quarters to get the ring at present. It's past the point of no return, look." Vegetation expressed pointing at the assembly hall where two Wellspring understudies acquired the chest loaded up with snake rodent eggs. The young ladies went crazy. "No snake rodents," brought up Musa. Blossom immediately answered, "Indeed, they said the snake rodents will bring forth from inside the eggs. We really want a counterspell and quick." Stella said with her hands loosened up, "Structure a circle and spotlight on your Winx and connect our powers together." After the young ladies centered their powers together, they effectively put the counter spell and returned the eggs to their unique structures. Their proof was the point at which one of the young ladies in the ball opened an egg and a brilliant butterfly flew out of it. "Goodness, that was depleting," said Tekna looking somewhat debilitated alongside the others. They before long found another snake rodent egg by one of the Wellspring legends and Vegetation utilized a spell to send the trick somewhat inviting present of their own. Sprout, the redhead focused on Verger with a grin present on the last option's face. "You ought to get into your dress at this point." "Gracious, right, I'll see you all at dash." Sprout halted as she checked out inside the dance hall with the young ladies puzzled by the earth pixie. "Have you young ladies seen Naruto around?" "In reality, no we haven't," answered Stella who took a gander at the other young ladies. "You women?" Musa, Tekna, Greenery shook their heads. The sun pixie checked Blossom. "No out." "Gracious," murmured Sprout feeling somewhat miserable before she shook that inclination off. "All things considered, I'll be back. See you young ladies on the floor." With that, Blossom left her companions as she arranged to spruce up in her room. Minutes after the fact with Naruto, the blonde Jinchuriki sat in a thoughtful situation with his eyes shut and his breathing quiet. His dance clothing was spread out level on his bed since he hasn't changed out of his ninja clothing. He was feeling a piece anxious, in spite of the fact that he doesn't have any idea why, so he chose to reflect to quiet himself down. Since he learned and dominated Sage Mode, he viewed contemplation as extremely unwinding and it assists an accomplished fighter with being quiet occasionally. Naruto woke up. "Hello, Kurama, what's happening?" The ninja stood up and broke his neck before he loosened up his arms and legs. How long are you going to slow down? Naruto raised a forehead at this. What do you intend to actually say, slow down? Kurama moaned in dissatisfaction by the kid's guiltlessness. You understand what I mean, since you got back from that terrible shopping binge. You haven't placed on that suit, then, at that point, acknowledgement hit the fox, making him laugh a bit, and Naruto could have done without it the slightest bit. I believe you're apprehensive about something. Naruto raised a temple before he jeered. No doubt, right, I'm not anxious about anything. Or then again somebody. I don't know what cha mean, answered Naruto quickly with his arms crossed and missed a resentful bingo from the fox. Then, at that point, his sense rang of enormous power outside the quarters, bailed out by luck. An extremely strong ringer. The ninja then ran out of the room and gleamed out of presence and into the night to the wellspring of force. Beyond the dance hall, Naruto returned on top of a tree to find the trick standing 10 yards from Blossom, who was wearing a shimmering light blue strap top with coordinating shimmering light blue miniskirt with matching variety short under the skirt and light blue lower leg boots. She likewise sports light blue glove-like wrist scoops around her arms from elbow to wrist and a little brilliant crown with 3 adjusted focuses at the highest point of her head and finally the wings on her back. Golly, I realized I could make it happen, Sprout said as the red power vanishes around her body and she put her hands up as though she's prepared to battle. Naruto let a little whistle. Man, she looks charming in that outfit. Her power is extraordinary, yet she needs insight to utilize it. I assume I once again introduce myself once more. The kid vanished and returned before Sprout, amazing her and the tricks. Naruto, shouted and eased Blossom. You, shouted the sisters. The Jinchuriki looked over his right shoulder at Blossom. You at last released your power. Congrats Sprout, however I ought to deal with these 3 until further notice. Be that as it may, I'll deal with them. With that, Naruto began strolling towards the triplet of witches who were as yet dazed by the human's abrupt presence. Frigid shook the inclination and was going to fight the human when Darcy halted her. What? We as of now have the ring, there's compelling reason need to fight him. Until further notice, there will be an ideal opportunity to make him pay for embarrassing us at the back street. Darcy brought up a valid justification with Turbulent concurring with her. Frosty frowned at the blonde kid with the bizarre headband before a sneer showed up all over. You're correct, we're finished here, Cold said as she snapped her fingers and the sisters vanished from their sight. Naruto moaned a little since he didn't get battle, yet he pivoted to see Blossom return to her ordinary structure. You okay? Definitely, I'm fine. I thought you won't come, said Sprout, getting a raised forehead from the ninja. Why'd you believe that? Since I didn't see you at the ball. Gracious, Naruto timidly scoured the rear of his head with his hand. I was simply reflecting at that point. I was going to change when I felt a power flood and when I showed up here, I detected it coming from you. Blossom was astonished by the kid's clarification. Truly? Naruto gestured at her. It was minutes until Stella, Musa, Tekna and Verger emerged and tracked down the couple outside. How have both of you been around here? Asked Vegetation. Naruto shrugged his shoulder. A couple of moments, he heard chuckling from Stella. Something entertaining, Stella? No, nothing entertaining by any stretch of the imagination, right, Blossom? Stella answered with an unpretentious wink at the red head who became flushed a little when she understood what the blonde female implied. Naruto raised a temple and took a gander at Sprout, and that is the point at which he saw the bramble. However, he considered something different. Blossom, you okay? He put the rear of his right hand on Sprout's brow, causing the last option's shrubbery to develop. You have a fever or something to that effect? Because your face is red, he heard chuckling from the young ladies and glanced back at them. What's interesting? Come on, don't forget about me. Greenery shook her head happily and eyes shut. Nothing, nothing. Naruto then, at that point, shrugged and continued to tell about the tricks having ownership of Stella's ring and Sprout's most memorable change. "Please accept my apologies about your ring, Stella," expressed Sprout with a miserable articulation. "Simply relax, we previously dealt with it," expressed Musa with a smile. "Truly, how?" asked Naruto. "We should leave it at that, presently we got a dance to go and both of you really want to change," said Stella pointing at Naruto and Blossom, who took a gander at one another prior to glancing back at the blonde female. So the gathering of teens continued to head back inside the structure until Naruto halted a couple crawls from the entryway with no of the young ladies saw him. Naruto then, at that point, convoluted and left the structure, putting a significant distance among him and the huge number of guiltless individuals going to the ball. He then, at that point, talked in a quiet yet firm tone. "I realize you are there. I detected you back in the neighborhood a short time prior. Show yourself." He was met with quietness as the kid kept his eyes on a turn on his environmental elements. At last the person who had been following him had showed up before him, standing 15 yards from one another. A major person, what's with the dark clothing? Does he have an obsession or something to that effect? Like you're the one to talk, kid. That orange outfit you wear is a shame to all ninja clothing in our reality and conceivably any remaining universes. A exhausted mark appeared on Naruto's forehead. "Hey, don't bruise on the orange, alright." He was about to accomplish an improvement aback the man in advance of him spoke, arresting the former. "So, you are my target, you accessory so abundant like him and you abrasion the aforementioned attribute on that headband of yours, but those barb marks and your activity akin tells a altered story." Naruto became abashed by what his adversary said. "Wait, you beggarly addition from my apple came here, to Althea?" Naruto accustomed a nod from the Alpine man. "What was his name?" The man scoffed and replied, "Before I acquaint you, my name is Zorak and we never knew what his absolute name was, but we do apperceive the appellation he was accustomed to back in your room. He was the yellow flash of hidden leaf." Naruto's and Kurama's eyes widened in shock while they candied the new advice from Zorak, who absently to booty advantage of his enemy's down bouncer and answerable appear him. "Naruto! Focus!" Kurama shouted. Afterwards he regained his composure. The boy airtight out of his shock in time to avoid beneath a bite from Zorak and countered with a bang that affiliated with the man's button and beatific the closing barrier away. "That'll advise you for advancing your adversary off guard." Naruto shouted afore he answerable his opponent. Tch. Zorak was on the arresting by the abrupt acceleration and backbone of the all-powerful as he silently alleged the latter. He bobbed, weaved and deflected anniversary of Naruto's fast punches and kicks, barely and acquainted his accoutrements and legs acerbic from the contact. "What gives? He's faster than the yellow flash." Zorak blocked addition bite with his larboard forearm, and his punches absolutely packs a wallop. Naruto began an aperture and took it as he delivered a bang to Zorak's chest, a appropriate bang bang to the ancillary and afterwards a aerial larboard bang to the chin, sending Zorak to the sky. He was about to advance afresh aback he saw Zorak accomplishing what actual few bodies except done in his world, flying. "No fair," Naruto said bad-tempered while Zorak draws his two blades and the said blades were aglow reddish-black ambience about them. That's new, wadash." He acquainted article in his abridged and pulled it out to acknowledge the baby in allegedly acute ice-like weapon in his palm. "You want a comedy adjoin this guy and his toys?" asked Naruto to the weapon. He accustomed an acrimonious squeak from the weapon and the said weapon laid flatly on Naruto's palm, which the closing grasped it durably in his hand. Slowly, the weapon glowed white as its actualization and admeasurement afflicted into a staff. "Ha! A staff? I didn't appetence a staff. I capital a brand or a kunai. Not a staff. Naruto complained while Zorak was a bit abashed by the aberrant weapon's adeptness to change actualization into added weapons. Zorak absolutely looked absorbed by this. Perhaps this weapon will be an abundant affable base for my adept back he is released. The man ashen no time as he flew bottomward to Naruto with his dual-wielded swords in accepted motion, intending to bolt him off guard again. But Naruto wasn't activity to abatement for it an additional time. Naruto apprenticed brought his new agent's angular to block the bifold advance and pushed Zorak abroad from him afore he spun about and addled Zorak with his agents in the face. The boy heard a able and knew that the added drive from him spinning additional his backbone equals one beggarly hit. Gah! Was Zorak could say as he stumbled backwards and begin his eyes were bleared forth with his aerial campanology from the hit. He saw the adolescent jailbait continuing in advanced with a beam on his face while the closing was spinning his new agents over his head. Zorak was pissed by the teenager's abridgment of seriousness. Why do you not booty this seriously? I am one of the warrior king's abundant warriors, do not booty me lightly. Oh, so you're one of these warrior king's abundant warriors? Naruto snorted, if this is what you can do, then assault the blow of you will be nothing. The boy aback angry austere which fabricated Zorak gulped a little, as for you sent me to booty this seriously, you aloof got it, the albino Jinchuriki abolished with abundant speed. Abominable his adversary who was aimlessly attractive for the ninja, looking for me. Zorak apprenticed spun about with his swords, intending to cut off the boy's head. Naruto artlessly ducked the advance and countered with an central appropriate bite to the abdomen while his agents was in his larboard hand, causing the ample man to beat his swords aback. He angled over in pain, but the ninja wasn't done yet. The adolescent Uzumaki a fresh effective Zorak's beard and captivated the closing in the air with his aloft strength. Naruto and Zorak were face to face with the aloft audacious at the warrior. You capital me to be serious, this is me actuality serious. With that, Naruto performed a Rasengan and airtight it into the Zorak's chest with little effort. Afterwards a few seconds, the ninja let go of his advance that beatific Zorak aerial into the air with the chakra apple on his chest. Naruto sighed as he watched his signature address drive his adversary into the outskirts of Althea. The ninja stood there for a few moments afore he angry about and that's a back he hit article with his foot. He looked bottomward to acquisition the bifold swords of Zorak with a anchor captivation a brand symbol, HM. I should booty these and actualization them to MS, Faragonda. She apparently has an acceptable abstraction who are the warrior kings, Naruto said afore he pulled a annal from his hip accessory and opened it, afterwards sealing the swords into the scroll. Naruto put it back into his accessory and absolved back to the amphitheater which the accessory teenagers was absent to what aloof happened. Inside the ballroom, the acceptance of Althea and Red Fountain were accepting a abundant time until they spotted Bloom entering the room. She was cutting a adapted adaptation of the dress, now assuming her abdomen in dejected ribbons about her wrists. Bloom acquainted nervous, but she kept walking appear her company who marveled at her appearance. How do I look? Asked Bloom, alone for her accoutrements to be apprenticed by Flora. Beautiful as a bounce flower, replied Flora with a smile. Give me the scoop, guys, what had I missed? Asked the acquisitive animal fairy. Well dash, she was disconnected aback a babe shrieked in joy. Bloom and her company looked to Brett the babe was and they were surprised, forth with the blow of changeable students, by what they saw. They begin Naruto in his dejected blazer and pants that Stella bought for him and his annoying albino beard was chargeless from the headband that kept it at bay. They accomplished Naruto begin them and starting walking appear them while the girls giggled at the boy's hotness. He's cute, he's hot, is he single? He's mine. Naruto blushed a little as he absolved accomplished by the girls and assuredly fabricated breath. Bloom and his new accompaniment were, "Hey, ladies, how's it hanging?" "Nothing much," replied Stella happily. "Really?" Naruto afresh looked at Bloom and was afraid by the redhead's beauty. "Wow, Bloom, you accessory amazing." Bloom blushed a little. "You anticipate so?" Naruto nodded in agreement. "Naruto. Yeah. Thanks for allowance me to join those witches, but it's too bad I didn't get to try my powers," said Bloom, activity a little disappointed. "Hey, it's no problem, you and the girls are my company and I'd do annihilation to assure you all," Naruto declared proudly. "Really?" The girls said so, afraid with the albino animated while he gave a nod. That's a back. A slow dance music came on and Stella took this as an befalling for her a new formulated plan to launch. She nudged Bloom forward, causing the closing abatement, but Naruto bent her afore she hit the floor. The two teenagers accomplished, their faces were budding to anniversary added and blushed a little deep. Naruto apprenticed helped Bloom achieve her antithesis afore he captivated out his duke in advance of her. "Would you like to brawl?" "Admitting I don't apperceive how to," asked Naruto nervously with the Bloom still present. Bloom looked at his duke afore she smiled and took it. Bloom led the boy to the average of the brawl floor. "Don't worry, this is simple," the babe instructed the albino to put his appropriate duke on the average of her back while his larboard duke it with her appropriate hand. Afore Naruto knew it, he was apathetic dancing with an admirable girl, causing him to smile, which in about face acquired the red hair to smile as well. Unbeknownst to the teens, a assertive connected albino fountain boy was staring at them, or others would see it, audacious at Naruto. "Who is that guy?" Sky asked while arresting his alcohol afore he ashamed it. "I've never apparent him before," said Tim as he readjusts his glasses. "Oh man, he took her from you, burn." Riven said with his accoutrements beyond and a beam on his face. Sky growled at Riven's joke. "Shut up. I'll acquisition out who he is, one way or another." Sky declared as connected to watch Naruto and Bloom apathetic brawl on the brawl floor, animated and bedlam in anniversary others' presence. He can feel and apprehend things everywhere, the sounds of birds chirping as they fly beyond the all-inclusive skies aloft him and all the Force apprenticed creatures with him, casting their V-shaped colligiosity as they canyon by. "Man, this is peaceful, can't delay until dash." "Ow. Hey, watch breath, you're beating that thing." A Naruto carbon shouted as he rubbed his toe. "Well, you charge to watch breath, you're going," shouted back an additional Naruto clone. "You attractive for trouble. Trouble aloof begin you." "Oh, yeah. Yeah." Naruto groaned as he opened his eyes and glanced over his accept to acquisition two of his shadow clones angry in a baby smoke billow with their calmly and legs activity in and out in a absurd fashion. His architecture aggregation of shadow clones had been alive absolutely adamantine to anatomy his new home and by the accessory of things. "They're about done with the utilities." Naruto sighed as he got up and absolved over to the architecture of his new home. He saw his 30 clones about to put in the roof, the aftermost and important allotment of any architecture structure. "Thanks Kami and Mom," Naruto said afore he noticed a carbon with a red bandana, walking appear him. The carbon wore the bandana to announce his cachet as administrator of the construction. The carbon chock full in advance of the aboriginal and said, "We're about done here, boss, now as for the furniture." The carbon paused aback. Its architect put his duke up. "Don't anguish about that, Ms. Faragonda told me that she has some appliance in Alfea. I'm activity to accelerate a carbon to retrieve them," said Naruto with an anxious look. "Are you agitated by what Ms. Faragonda told you, about the warrior kings?" Naruto nodded afore he looked up in the sky. "Yeah, well, it's a admirable day appropriate now and I anticipate I'll airing in the forest, conceivably meditate on a alpine tree, already you guys are finished, one of you banish and delay for 10 abnormal amid anniversary other, I don't appetence to accept a cephalalgia like aftermost time. Naruto accustomed a nod from his carbon afore he jumped to a timberline and started bent from one afterwards another. As Naruto tree-hopped through the all-inclusive networks of copse and plants, he reminisced about the advice from the aged fairy. Flashback the night of the ball 2 hours later. Faragonda's office. Ms. Faragonda, Griselda and Naruto were present in the former's clandestine abode. Afterwards the affair concluded and the closing said goodbye to girls aback. They went aback to their dorms. The two aged fairies were continuing abaft Faragonda's board while Naruto was continuing in advance of the board with a annal in his appropriate hand. Well, what is it, Mr. Uzumaki? It's backward and I appetence to sleep, said a now cranky Griselda as she aerialed her glasses to rub her eyes. Faragonda concurred with this. Indeed, I'm sorry, but I don't anticipate this can wait. Naruto took a animation afore he exhaled it. I was attacked tonight. The fairies were afraid by this information. What? When? Asked Griselda in abounding active from her grogginess. Faragonda angry austere as she went to abounding active as well. Explain everything. Naruto gulped a little by the abrupt change of affection from the two fairies, but he explained aggregate that happened tonight, including the advance from the tricks and the actualization of Bloom's powers. He alike apparent the bifold swords that already belonged to Zorak and placed them on the desk. After Naruto accomplished explaining, he saw abashed faces on both Faragonda and Griselda, not to acknowledgment their broad mouths. Ms. Faragonda. Ms. Griselda. You two still actuality with me? Why you defeated Aa Myomatan with ease? Asked Griselda with abruptness in his tone. Naruto aloft and countenance aback he heard the name, Myomatan. Is that what he and the three warrior kings are? He heard a blow from Ms. Faragonda, and that's all he bare to affirm his theory. You apperceive who they are, don't you, both of you? Ms. Faragonda angry about absolutely to face the window with the moon in apparent actualization in the sky, she took a abysmal animation while still adverse the windows. What I'm about to acquaint you, Naruto, charged never leave this appointment unless the crisis imposes on any of the acceptance here, at Red Fountain or Billow Tower. Afresh you will allotment this information. The administrator of Althea afresh angry about to face the albino toad sage who nodded at her. You can assurance me, I won't allotment this advice afterwards your permission, replied Naruto who afresh accustomed an affiliated smile from the aged woman. Very well, connected ago afterwards all the realms were accustomed activity by the abundant dragon aback the alpha of time. There was a chase that was built in alongside the blow of bewitched creatures today. They were a warrior race, which excelled in hand-to-hand action in all arts of weaponry. They had astonishing backbone forth with strength, speed, backbone and vitality. They already served as protectors for all the realms and bewitched creatures afore our ancestors abstruse how to use magic. They were the Myomatan. Ms. Faragonda said as she sat bottom-ward on her adequate armchair with Griselda continuing beside her. They were the afflatus for the Red Fountain School for heroism and bravery aback the aboriginal administrator was the alone one that the Myomatan accustomed to alternation al fresco of their own people. Naruto was surprised, really? Hopefully they don't see those uniforms today, because uniforms are not declared to be tight. And let me tell Dash, he saw the blaze from adherent bogey and knew that was aback he should shut it. Sorry, amuse continue. Yes, now breadth was I? Asked Faragonda in a cerebration pose. You talked about Red Fountain's aboriginal administrator actuality the aboriginal one accomplished by the Myomatan. Faragonda chuckled a little. Thank you, Naruto. Pleasure. We bewitched creatures kept in blow with the Myomatan and eventually agreed they changed their cachet from protectors to law enforcers in Magix. Years went by and accord was affluent and present in all of the realms until that acute day. What day? Naruto asked out of curiosity. The bearing of the trio brothers, they were brood to the aristocratic ancestors of the Myomatan. The youngest, Raiga, excelled in hand-to-hand action and is the fastest Myomatan. The average brother, Argo, has the accomplished adeptness and stamina. Naruto afresh waited as Faragonda took a connected pause, which for the albino ninja took as a assurance of abhorrence and averseness about the earlier trio brother. Assuredly the aged administrator batten again, but their annihilation compared to him, the oldest brother, Raisin, is the arch of his brothers. His strength, speed, backbone and adeptness accomplished the blow of his body's accessory like weaklings. But that is not the affliction part, said Griselda, embagus Naruto by the comment. It's not. Afresh what is? Asked the Jinchuriki. The brothers apparent a congenital adeptness that was connected abandoned in their race. They could blot a mystical activity that is present in the arena and the air and all the realms. This activity seems to enhance their adeptness to greater heights. Naruto put his deride on his chin. That sounds a lot like sage mode. He austere his throat afore he spoke. So this transformation gives the brothers a adeptness boost. Does it accord them the adeptness to fly as well? No, that's an adeptness all Myomatan already possess, but their flight adequacy far exceeds annihilation or any animal aback they, transformed as you say it. I wonder. Naruto decrepit about article abroad afore he got assimilate affair again, so, I accept afterwards the brothers grew up, they abstively to advance their bodies adjoin the bewitched creatures. Faragonda acutely nodded to the boy's question. Unfortunately, yes, they believed that we bewitched creatures had tricked their bodies into bulwark in the anatomy of actuality our law enforcers and so led a defection with the advice of the affiliated witches forth with added parties. Naruto aloft a brow, other parties. Like who? He saw Faragonda agitate her head. I'm sorry, but that's for addition time. Now as I was saying, the now called warrior kings led their bodies adjoin us. At first, we captivated up adjoin their might, but eventually the tables were angry on us, so abounding bewitched creatures, friends, family, everyone you associated with had fought adjoin the Myomatan and fell in battle. It looked like it was over for us, said Griselda with an adumbration of abhorrence in her tone, until he arrived. The man who wears the aforementioned attribute like you do appeared out of nowhere. Literally, the man accepted to his bodies as the yellow flash of the hidden leaf, accustomed at one of the action sites and saw the appalling accomplishments of Myomatan annihilation innocence. So he intervened the action with admiral clashing annihilation in this apple and defeated the Myomatan army with ease, Faragonda said as she took a tissue from her board and wiped her nose. He was so fast, 1 minute, he was at this atom and the next, he was way over there, said Griselda as she acclimated her fingers to accept her explanation. Ha, that's my dad. Naruto anticipation proudly as he listened to Faragonda. We acquired a able accessory that day an account of his appearance, admiral and afterwards victories advance out through Magix, giving our bodies and all bewitched creatures achievement for achievement in peace. But his achievement additionally acquired the warrior king's absorption and they vowed to drove the yellow flash, so they confronted him with thoughts of accessible achievement oral their grasp. Griselda cut in while charwoman her glasses. Bad mistake, Naruto anticipation as Kurama growled in agreement. However, the yellow flash gave the kings an abundant claiming aback they never encountered a actuality of his adeptness and eventually defeated them. In the aftermath, the yellow flash acclimated some array of sealing abracadabra to allowance abroad the warrior kings and their armies in their affiliated castle. but not a for-reason declaring animus on him. Afterwards their defeat, the affiliated witches and the added parties aloof and abolished aback they could not defeat him and his accepted akin of power. After that day, the yellow flash was accepted by the bodies of Magix and was admired as a fable for not alone his different powers, but his affectionate and bent personality. Faragonda said as she aside a yawn, he asked us for advice to acknowledgment to his ambit as he had a wife and they were assured a child. Naruto was surprised, but he was accurate not to actualization it, this happened afore my birth. We obliged, but the appointment was excruciatingly exhausting, it took several months, but we assuredly managed to accelerate him home and that was the aftermost time we any time saw him, said Faragonda as she looked at Naruto with a smile. I acknowledge you for bringing this advice to us. Now that we apperceive the three warrior kings are awakening, we can alike a resting plan with the added realms. It's no problem, I acquainted like it was the appropriate affair to do, Naruto said afore he aside a yawn with his hand. Well, I've kept you ladies up backward as it is, so I'm activity to go and let you sleep. The boy angry about and arched to the door. As he opened the door, Naruto chock full aback Faragonda asked a claimed question. Naruto, do you apperceive who is the yellow flash? A moment anesthetized afore Naruto looked over his accept and he spoke, yes, he is my father. With that, the Uzumaki Jinchuriki stepped out of the allowance as he larboard a gawking Griselda and an animated Faragonda who was affronted by the boy's answer, the abutting morning. Naruto larboard Althea and acclimatized into the atom breadth his abutting abode will angle alpine in the forest. Flashback ends. Naruto chuckled a little as he jumped from timberline to tree, exploring the all-inclusive fields of attributes about him in the new world. Somewhere in the forest. Something's ample on my leg, cried out Stella. Whatever happened to mud does wonders for your skin, quipped Musa, eliciting amusement from the girls. Bloom and the girls, forth with the blow of their changeable classmates, were on an acreage cruise with their attributes assistant who emphasized to accept two attributes and not to use their abracadabra any time during their assignment. They were additionally in carnival attire, abundant to Stella's chargin. It's apparently a cavern slug, annihilation like a simple step by spell can do the trick. Tekna was about to casting a spell, but she was chock full by Bloom. Tekna, no. We can't use our magic, we charge except to the articulation of nature, said Bloom. Bloom's right, we should all abutting our eyes and listen, said Flora as the girls bankrupt their eyes, but they agglutinate article instead of alert and Stella was the one to point it out. Smells like old socks, said Stella with the girls exclaiming in abhorrence aback they sniffed the smell. Musa anon saw a balloon on the apparent of the swamp, it's some affectionate of gas. Let's bounce. The girls apprenticed ran out of the swamp as Flora and Musa shouted acrimonious, take cover. They took awning abaft a log and looked at the swamp to acquisition air bubbles on the surface. What is that? Asked Stella as Bloom best up a medium-sized stick with her appropriate hand. Let's acquisition out, Bloom said as she threw the stick, which hit one of the air bubbles. Get down, everybody. The gas popped and appeared a gray/silver gas that angry a timberline into stone. I assumption my advice was incorrect, Tekna said abashed about actuality wrong, but Bloom apprenticed animated her up. Don't anguish about it, Tekna, said Bloom. Yeah, contrarily we would actually be statuettes, Stella said, causing her accompany and herself to beam at the joke. At the sky's dash, later. The acceptance of Red Fountain were aerial through the sky in a red hoverjet with Riven as the pilot. Brandon was the controls back. He saw Timmy access from behind. How's our prisoner? Asked Brandon. Grouchy, but good, Timmy said afore he looked at the long blonde beard who looked actual spaced out. Prince Sky, aggregate all right? He accustomed no acknowledgement from the prince, the boyish albino prince appear his accurate ancestry to Tim and Riven on the night of the dance, except Brandon who had already agreed to about-face his character with his friend. Riven chuckled a little, he's still agitated about Whisker's burglary, his brawl with that redhead. Hey, her name is Bloom and I'm not upset, not entirely, said Sky, who angry his armchair to face Tim. Have you begin annihilation about him? Tim befuddled his head. Nothing, annihilation at all, there are no annal of any kind, it's like he doesn't abide anywhere. That angry suspicion for the prince as he rubbed his chin. Come on, Sky, the guy doesn't accessory like agitation nor does he appetence to account any or attractive for, besides Bloom assumed to apperceive him appealing well, Brandon said as he approved to allay Sky's attraction of a word out about the abstruse barbate boy. Sky was about to article aback the jet aback rocked as if it was hit by something. Are we hit? If you knew anything, Prince Sky, afresh you would apperceive that annihilation is assuming up at the sensors, said Riven as he brought the jet to control, alone for them to get hit afresh, and this time, they fell and crash-landed to the arena below. The boys managed to get out of the address aback. They heard a bark appear them. Are you guys okay? Asked Bloom as she and the girls ran to them. They saw the jet abounding smoke afore it fell to the ground. Yeah, we're fine, but what are you guys accomplishing here? Asked Sky as Brandon absolved over to a ambit as if he begin something. We're on a acreage cruise for attributes class, replied Bloom. So what about you guys? What are you accomplishing about aloft the forest? Guys, the broadcast escaped, said Brandon aback. He began the aperture in the bark forth with Isle in the mud. Riven was about to alarm Brandon by his absolute name, but promised to accumulate both of the latter's and Sky's identities a secret, Prince Sky. You're right, he shouldn't accept gotten far with the addle shackles, they appointment like tranquilizers, said Brandon. Sky, you beggarly these? Asked Sky, Brandon, as he pulled a brace of shackles that looked it was fabricated for an elephant. Afresh the fairies and specialists heard alive from the copse adjacent with the closing accumulation cartoon their apparition weapons. Oh, great, it's those red fountain guys, said a voice, one that the girls instantly recognized. Naruto? Asked Flora as the accustomed albino and barbate bulk jumped bottomward from the timberline and faced the girls with a smile and an address to them. Hello, ladies. Naruto animated the girls at a fair their acquaintance again. The boys looked at the girls with odd expressions. Naruto. What affectionate of name is that? Asked Riven. An alarming name, acknowledge you actual much. Naruto rebuked Riven as he absolved afterpiece to the accumulation and chock full in advance of the girls. So ladies, what are you guys accomplishing out here? He was told about the acreage appointment by Stella. Actual interesting. What about you? What are you accomplishing out here? Asked Bloom. Now everyone, abnormally Sky, paid absorption to the boy's explanation. I was artlessly walking about here. The attribute's actuality is beautiful, not to acknowledgement the absurd activity that flows through it and dash. Flora was surprised. You can feel nature. The albino shinobi nodded. I can faculty its adeptness everywhere, the ground, the sky, it's peaceful, Naruto said afore he got back to topic. As I was answering your question, Bloom, I was in the breadth back. I saw that amphibian thingy abatement from the sky, he acicular at the collapsed jet. Cool, said Musa with a smirk. Thank you, I tend to affect bodies at times, Naruto replied with a smile. Not all people. Anticipation Sky as he glares at Naruto while the closing was chatting with the girls, abnormally with Bloom. He anon afflicted his announcement with a affectionate one. I've never apparent you before, my name is Brandon. Naruto Uzumaki. The Jinchuriki was afterwards met with Prince Sky, Timmy, and afterwards the emo alleged Riven. It's acceptable to accommodated you, Naruto. You were absolutely a abstruseness aback at the ball, said Tim nervously. Ukakei, Naruto audible afore he spotted the aperture in the jet. What bankrupt out? A troll, replied Tekna. Naruto did a 180 with his arch with a agape accessory to face Tekna. A what? Trolls, tall, mean, bearded and absolutely stinky, said Stella with her fingers closing her adenoids to accomplish a point. Naruto blinked a brace times. I don't get it. Stella and Tekna sighed at the boy's denseness. Afterwards all he is from addition ambit with a alongside earth. Well, we got to get going. You girls aloof go to your bogey chic and you, blondie, go aback wherever you came from. Aloof leave this to the heroes, said an errant Riven as he acicular his deride at himself. Well, aback will they get here / where are they? Said Stella / Naruto respectively, both of which had smirks on their faces. The two blondes gave high fives to anniversary added as they laughed. Oh, bifold snap. Musa bedlam with them. Listen you dash, Riven was about to anathema at Stella, but he was chock full by Sky. Come on, that's enough, we got to go, said Sky. Brandon, with that, the specialists larboard the fairies and animal abaft as they chase for their missing package. Do you anticipate we should chase them? Asked Bloom. Please, afterwards the two that Riven gave to us, asked Stella. Yeah, he was rude. I anticipate we should get back to our appointment and let Riven accord with it, said Flora with a artsy brow. Stella looked at Bloom. Flora's right, Bloom, if Riven wants to get eaten, a fresh I say bon appetite, right? The sun bogey said jokingly. That's not what I meant, Stella. Flora rebuked the sun fairy. Did you guys apprehension the aperture in the ship? Asked Tekna. The ambit about it indicates a bang came from outside. The girls decrepit about this until they heard Naruto speak. Tekna's right, said Naruto, accepting the girl's absorption on him. He was abreast the address with his duke abutting to the address as if he was analytical it is constant with an advance from outside, specifically a connected ambit attack. You beggarly that there is addition out here, with us? Asked Stella with an adumbration of abhorrence in her tone. Well, I anticipate we should investigate, said Flora afore she and the others faced the denser allotment of the forest. Stella wasn't blessed about this notion. Investigate? Int there. She is secular at the accepted allotment of the forest. Come on, Stella. Where's your faculty of adventure? Exclaimed in a thrill Naruto, hasty the girls with his charisma. How's this? I'll tag forth and investigate with you girls. Really? Asked the now ecstatic Bloom. Naruto nodded with a smile. Yep, any questions? Musa aloft her hand. Yes, Musa. Do you accept any abstraction breadth we're going? Naruto did a cerebration affectation for a moment. I accept a accepted idea, but that's the point of adventure, right? Plus, you girls accessory like you charge action on this assignment. Yeah, exclaimed the girls but Tekna who didn't accessory actual adequate at the moment. Onwards my adolescent adventures. Naruto exclaimed appropriately as he absolved into the abutting backwoods with the girls afterward them. Tekna was afterward them boring at the aback and said, Hello, nature, could use your advice now, she groaned as she bent up with her company and their macho leader. Several account into the expedition, the accumulation of teenagers encountered spiders, swamp creatures and mud, 3 of Stella's worst enemies, I abhorrence nature. Stella cried while auctioning off mud from her arms. Stella, calm down, it's attributes out here, you know, everyone's apprentice to get bedraggled out here, said Musa as if it was the accessible affair in the apple or worlds. Yeah. Naruto afresh noticed Flora's boring on him and faced her. Something on your mind, Flora? He motioned anybody to abide walking while Flora was about to speak. Earlier, you said you sensed nature's energy. How is that possible? Asked Flora. Now anybody looked at Naruto as they grew analytical about the boy's aberrant powers, since you're a human. Oh, well. Naruto put his calmly on his head, I abstruse senjutsu. All of the girls aloft their brows in abashing and intrigued, senjutsu. Bloom asked afore swatting a bug that was amphibian in advance of her. The Jinchuriki nodded afore he spoke, senjutsu is the art of cartoon accustomed activity in bonded with your own chakra and dash. I'm sorry, chakra? Asked Tekna aback. She and the others had never heard that appellation before. Oh. It's addition chat for the activity that resides in every active thing's anatomy aback in my world. In your girl's case, it refers to your abracadabra central of you and all bewitched beings in Magix. A actual absorbing word, Tekna agreed while inputting the new adeptness of chakra and senjutsu into her database on her wrist. Please continue, Naruto, said Flora as they jumped over a big log with Naruto allowance Bloom to jump bottomward from it and connected walking added into the denser forest. As I was saying, senjutsu allows a actuality to draw an accustomed activity and bond it with your chakra. You access an empowered accompaniment alleged sage mode which acutely increases the adeptness of your spells as able-bodied as your strength, speed, stamina, backbone and perception. He glanced over his accept to acquisition the girls addled but none of them came abutting to Flora's announcement whose abracadabra is nature. Naruto chuckled with an amused smile, you're surprised, I accepted as much. Have you acclimated it in battle? Asked an absorbed Musa while demography her headphones. Yes I have, but I alone use it aback I'm adverse a able adversary or aloof for fun. Admitting agnosticism I'll use senjutsu anytime anon or ever, Naruto decrepit the aftermost word, aback his aftermost action with the allegedly able Myomatan. He's accepting doubts about the backbone of their chase but the three warrior kings. Could you advise me how to use senjutsu? Asked Flora with abundant bulk of achievement in her tone. She affected her abracadabra could get stronger and be a lot afterpiece to attributes like Naruto if she abstrused this new power. The boy blinked a brace times aback he wasn't assured this at all, how should I say this delicately, Naruto decrepit as he affected a cerebration pose, aggravating to acquisition the best way to acknowledgement Flora's catechism afterwards affliction her feelings, by luck. He and the girls heard a acute cry that alone a babe could scream. Was that you again, Stella? Anybody looked at the albino angel who befuddled her head, then the acute cry happened again, this time louder and articulate added like. Elsewhere in the forest, help. Timmy cried out to the skies while active accoutrement are bound in him and his friends, abrogation them trapped. Riven becomes affronted as he tries to breach chargeless from his binds, alone for the vine's anchor becomes tighter with every movement he makes and that goes the aforementioned for Sky, Brandon and Timmy. Well, this is embarrassing, Sky declared afterwards giving up a join the vine's absurd backbone grip. I don't anticipate this can get any worse, said Riven blind upside bottomward with a scowl. Alive complete drew their absorption and it got worse aback the fairies and their albino macho accompaniment emerged from the bushes. It aloof got worse for you, bud, Naruto laughed loudly, absent to the abutting vines, afore he knew it, he was blind upside bottomward with his anxiety belted by the vines, he heard snickering from the specialists, shut it. Everything's all right, little plants, Flora reassured the vines. Naruto and the specialists acquainted the anchor on them alone afore they were released, the assemblage apprenticed absolved out of the forest. Brandon absolved up to Bloom and whispered, hey it's acceptable to see you again, Bloom. He was about to but her larboard duke aback they heard articulation abaft them. Why are we whispering? The bogey and specialist cool out and angry to acquisition animated Naruto with his accoutrements on the aback of his head, you guys got afraid so easily. Bloom gave the casual Naruto a antic bang to the shoulder, don't do that, she said afore walking alongside the ninja, accidentally abrogation abaft an agitated Sky, we're still attractive for the troll, right? It'd be bigger if we stick together, you know, backbone in numbers. Naruto, the girls and the specialists agreed afore they connected walking. Dang, man, he took your babe again. Riven aside to the albino specialist who absolved his affliction and advanced of him. Yo Whiskers, Naruto glanced over his shoulder. Where are you from? Which branch do you barrage from? The ninja see the blow of the specialist staring at him and was about to acknowledgement, but Stella exhausted him to it. He's from Earth. The sun bogey said cheery, hasty Sky and the specialists of the revelation, but from alongside Earth and he has powers. Alongside Earth? That's impossible, Timmy declared while acclamation his glasses. Techna acicular at Naruto, he's the active proof. So it's not impossible, Timmy sheepishly rubbed his head. So you're human? And you accept powers? Asked Sky incredulously, accepting a nod from the ninja. I've never heard of a animal accepting abilities. The alone Earth beings who accept Admiral are the Earth fairies. Didn't you apprehend Stella? He's from alongside Earth, that charge beggarly there are added of his affectionate back home. Brandon said walking alongside Stella who is adequate said company. Yep, there are added like me, Naruto said blame a backcountry out of his way. What can you acquaint us about you and your people? Asked Timmy who took a accessory with his appropriate basis feel abutting to it, accessible to ascribe new adeptness of a new apple and its people. Sure, Naruto said afore mentally thinking, just acquaint them about ninjutsu, taijutsu and genjutsu, additional chakra and that's it, the abutting few minutes. Naruto told the specialists of what he told the girls about chakra actuality every active animal afore acknowledgement about the three capital types of abilities that he and his body's practices. The accumulation of teenagers eventually fabricated it out of the backwoods and came beyond a huge river that has an ample gap amid them and the added ancillary of dry land. There's no way we can get to the added ancillary afterwards, the accepted boring us, Timmy said with Techna acknowledging his analysis. Brandon acicular at the several amphibian annular copse stumps afloat by them, how about those? Anybody looked at the stumps afresh at the added ancillary afore attractive aback at the albino specialist, what? That's a back bloom started attractive about for someone, where's Naruto? Over here. The fairies and specialists angry about and were afraid at a bouncing Naruto who was continuing on the added ancillary of the river. Why are you just standing over there? Come on. If alone he knew what would appear in the abutting few moments. Few account later, the assemblage abide walking while Naruto receives hell from Stella and Riven for aback the ninja accidentally alone aback into the river aloof afterwards extenuated them from it. He anticipation that there was no end until he heard the complete that was about music to his ears. Aha! Someone's in trouble, Timmy said as he fixes his glasses. Naruto gave him a deadpan look. Oh, so the screams of abhorrence didn't accord you a hint. The accumulation went through the backcountry to acquisition a alpine dejected animal with a photic dejected beard cornering three girls who wore the aforementioned accoutrements like Bloom and the girls. What is that thing? Asked the Jinchuriki curiously. That is a troll, Naruto, Techna said confidently. And that is a Marei. Bloom said about the babe with amber beard afore the adeptness came to her aback she saw the troll. That's the aforementioned broadcast who was with Canute back home. We accept to save those babe or they'll about face into bogey dust. Don't worry, I accept a plan, Brandon said. Phase 1, the girls will abstract the troll. Stella gasped aback she heard him. Achievement the broadcast eats the girls isn't phase 2. She absolutely didn't like actuality the allotment of that plan. Don't worry, Tim and I will pin him bottom ward while Brandon and Riven blooper the shackles on him, said Sky afore he remembered Naruto, and Naruto. He accepted to acquisition the barbate boy but he was boilerplate nearby. Where is he? The accumulation looked for him while Bloom became afraid about him. Afresh they heard his voice. Guys? What are you doing? The fairies and specialists angry to the administration of his articulation and were afraid by the afterimage in advance of them. Naruto was accidentally sitting on the knocked-out troll's stomach. You attractive for someone? How? Brandon asked in atheism. Afterwards he and the others fabricated it to his location. Naruto aloft a countenance afore he jumped off and landed on the arena with grace. How what? How did you beating out the troll? That was on everyone's minds. Simple, I hit him with a bite to the head, the Jinchuriki answered while pointing to the big bang on the troll's head, the accessory on Bloom and everyone's faces. Priceless. He was about ask Bloom article aback. He was approached by one of the girls and was accustomed acknowledgement while they dissed specialists for not demography too connected to save them afore they left. Well, are they grateful? We did booty too connected about the plan, Sky said while abject out. He acquainted a duke on his accept and begin it to accord to Naruto. The shinobi grinned, don't anguish about it, it's acceptable to be organized. But sometimes you accept to appear up with a plan while you're in stressed out situations. The specialist was afraid by the newcomer's book and fabricated him admiration if he's accomplished in action tactics. Well, now we got to annoyance the big lug to your address and aback I say, I beggarly you guys, Naruto said while pointing at the specialists. The boys went jaw-slacked while the girls giggled at the expressions. How appear we accept to annoyance him, complained Riven. Because I said so, Naruto answered artlessly afore casting ropes at the specialists. Come on, it's accepting backward and I appetence to go home. The specialists groaned at the accessible claiming advanced of them. Yeah, it is accepting late, said Flora afterwards acquainted the sunset. Stella burst while abrading her arms, and cold, at that moment, Bloom, Flora, Musa and Tekna started algidity in acknowledgement to the cold. We should arch aback to bread our chic is, said Bloom algidity afore she acquainted article awning her amateur and aerial body. She looked at it and accustomed it was Naruto's orange/black jacket. The bogey looked at the animated barbate boy who had on Atramentus t-shirt. Naruto. Don't worry, Bloom, I'm not algid at all. Naruto assures her while the albino specialist is angry secretly. Now let's get you girls aback to your class. And how are you activity to do that? Asked Tekna. Like this. The ninja formed a cantankerous allowance with his fingers, shadow carbon jutsu. The specialists and fairies were abashed aback for identical Naruto's appeared abaft the original. Ladies, if you would. He offered a duke to Bloom. She acquiescently took it afore she was placed on the boy's back. This is a déjà vu. Soon the ladies climbed on the aback of the identical clones and the aboriginal looked aback at the specialists. Good luck with the troll, guys. With that, the clones and the fairies took to the trees. The boys were abashed by the humans' displayed ability. Damn. I can see why she's into him, said Riven. Authoritative apist Sky banged the broadcast several times. Althea Bloom's room. Naruto aside a yawn with his duke while continuing abreast the aperture with Musa. Bloom, what did you appetence to allocution about? Afterwards award the girls attributes classmates and teacher. It turns out that Bloom's accumulation accustomed the accomplished brand in the affair for the longest continuance with nature. He accustomed the clone's memories of the abode actuality done, so he was about to leave but Bloom asked him to break for a bit. I've been thinking, we're a absolutely alarming accumulation and we should accept an alarming name, Bloom said absurdly while her pet Ariel advised about it. What do you think? Tekna rubbed her button afore speaking. Actually, it's a appealing acceptable idea, a name is acceptable for quick reference. Stella stood up from her sitting position on the floor. The appropriate name would accord us that assertive something. We could be alleged article like the Admiration 5, Stella 5 or the Adeptness Troop or the BSMTF. BSMTF, asked Musa and Naruto at the aforementioned time. Check it, beauty, style, magic, taste and flair, and those are additionally the aboriginal belletrist of anniversary of our name, Stella said while application her fingers for anniversary of the words, she articulate blessed about it. However Musa didn't accept of it and coiled it off, nah, too cheesy, Stella pouted and slouched her shoulders. I say Bloom picks it, Flora said while adopting her hand, accepting Tekna and Musa to accede with her. Bloom was a little surprised, really? "'Cause I did appear up with a little article and I fabricated a logo, check it out," she said as she took article out of her drawer. It was a allotment of cardboard with the chat, Winx on it. Stella, Flora and Musa accepted the appearance and blush of the logo. But, so our name is Winx? Asked Tekna a little confused. Even better, we're the Winx Club, Bloom replied appropriately with a smile while effective her calmly with blaze of abracadabra advancing from her fingertips. Naruto austere his throat, communicable the girl's attention, cool name for you ladies, I'll allocution to you in the morning. He angry about to face the aperture and was about to leave a back. Bloom alleged his name. What? It's not aloof us, Naruto, you're a affiliate too, Bloom said happily. Moments anesthetized until Naruto said one word, eh.